Hey, it's Joe Crump. In this video, I'm going to show you what's going on in the background when you get a new lead. The first thing that happens is an email is sent out to you with the response email from the person who sent it. And that email is being sent to you because it's been categorized by the classification filters. The classification filters are a list of keywords that you can add to or subtract from depending on how the filters are working for you. And what it does, 60 or 70% of the time correctly, 30-40% of the time it's incorrect. What it does is it looks at the email that's coming in that's being sent by the seller, and it tries to determine based on what the text is in that email whether they're saying yes, I'm interested, no, I'm not interested, or yes, I'm interested and here's a phone number. And you'll know how it classified based on what icon it gives it here. So if it says thumbs down here, that means that it thinks that what this person wrote is a no, that they said no. If it's a thumbs up, that means they said yes. If it's a phone, a telephone, that means they said yes and they gave you a phone number. If it's got this little question mark, then that means that it was not classified, that there was not enough content in there to classify it. Our filters are smart, but they're not that smart. Let's scroll down the page a little bit and look at a couple of these. Here's one that says yes and that they gave you a phone number. So let's scroll over and take a look. And they said, yes, I'd be very interested in that. And remember, the question that we sent out was, would you consider selling your home rent to buy rather than just selling it outright? So he's saying, yes, I would. Here's his phone number. So this is somebody that you want to call. So what's going to happen is you've got an email in response to this. And now once you got that email, you need to give this guy a call and put your deal together. If you don't call them, or if you're not able to reach them, in 3 days they're going to get an email from our system that says, why don't you go take a look at our website and see what our offer is. Now let me show you the other things that are being done by the system. Whenever they're categorized, they're going to be put into a campaign. The campaign goes into your autoresponder. Your autoresponder is part of your clone sites. So let's switch over real quick and look at the clone sites. This is the clone site master admin, and if you scroll down the page and come to autoresponder control panel and you click on this link, it'll open up your autoresponder account. Now when I scroll down the page here, I'm going to see the for rent method automation system here, and there's 3 different campaigns. One of them is I'm interested, one of them I'm interested and I've got a phone number, and one of them is I'm not interested. And each one of these have a different series of messages. As you see, you can look at the messages by clicking on one of these buttons. So if they're interested but they didn't give you a phone number, then they're going to get a series of emails that are sent out over over a couple of weeks, and then of course this last one gets sent out over and over again. But the first one you can look at by clicking on this edit button, and you scroll down the page, and you'll see that the subject line is my offer, and then it says, hi, first name, whatever their first name happens to be. I sent you an email asking if you consider rent to buy, and you said you'd consider it. So if you scroll down, then it's going to give them a link to your web page, your rent to own seller web page, that explains the type of offer that we do. Now let me go back to the master admin panel, and I'll show you. This is the rent to own seller site, and they're going to be directed to this rent to own seller site. And you can they can either listen to the audio here, or they can scroll down the page and they can read what's in the audio, which tells them all about the types of deals that we do and how the for rent method works. And it also allows them to fill out this form and tell us about their property if they want to do it. And by the way, if you get somebody who fills out this form, when they click on this button, it goes into a campaign on Contactor Plus. Let me go back to the campaigns show. It's going to go into the rent to own seller campaign, so they're going to start getting emails from this campaign, but it's also going to send you an email saying this person filled out the rent to own seller website, saying they're interested in working with you, that they want you to sell the property, that they want to sell it to you on a lease option so that you can turn around, sell it, and make a profit. When you get these, if you're any good at all on the phone, you're going to convert 100% of those. Now, you have to have a little bit of skill on the phone, but not very much. Anybody that's been doing this for very long is going to be able to convert somebody who fills out this form. When they fill out this form, it's also going to send them a message, an email, and it's going to encourage them to fill out the lease option memo online. And this is another form here. So if I go back to the admin and I scroll down the page, I'm going to come to the lease option memo, and that's going to take them to this site. And they can fill out this form, and when they click on I agree down here, that means that they're actually giving you control of their property. And this happens sometimes, not all the time, occasionally it'll happen, and it'll actually give you control of their property. So now you can actually go sell their property on a lease option, get a lease option fee, you take the lease option fee, first month's rent goes to them, and you're on your way. You've made a chunk of money. This is the beauty of this follow-up system. Now, one thing to remember is if you find that any of these are miscategorized, you can always change the category that they're in, and it'll take them out of that category, and it'll take them out of the campaign in Contactor Plus that they were in, and it'll put them into the new campaign. So it's a very robust system that does a lot of different things. Now, don't be surprised as well that a lot of these will be miscategorized. A lot of people will say no. Some people will say, oh yeah, I'll do that, but I want $10,000, down payment. Obviously that's not going to work for you. And if you listen to the Talking to Sellers audios and the training, you'll hear me talk about that. You'll hear me talk about how to talk to these people and how to help them understand what's workable, what's practical, what'll actually make sense for them, and how it actually solves their problem and why you should be working with them. So using these techniques, using these voice blasts, email blasts, using all this stuff together, plus the websites, plus the emails that are going out to them, that you're not doing any of that stuff. It's all being done by the system. The only thing you're doing is when they call you, you're going to get on the phone with them and you're going to talk to them. That's the only thing that you have to do to make this system work. And once you get the memo, then you have to work with the buyers and put buyers into the deal. But the training program also shows you how to do that. And that's really a very easy part of this process. The most challenging part of this whole process for you, since the only thing you really have to do is learn how to talk to people, the most challenging part is going to be learning how to talk to people and how to put those deals together. And that's all you have to focus on when you use a system like this. So you're in the right place. You're doing the right thing. The system really does work. I've never seen anybody who actually followed through with it and learned how to do it and made the calls and listened to the training and got those words in their mouth and learned to speak with authority and with conviction that wasn't able to make money. It doesn't take that much. It does take some work, though. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. I think you've probably heard me say that before. Anyway, good luck with it.